What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte. Dillian Whyte it's pretty much the boxing world against Dillian Whyte, and Dillian Whyte against the boxing world. He had this to say about a possible fight with Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, he said, Parker was never in my plans. Whyte said it to Sky Sports. I beat him already, so why would he be in my plans? Someone I've beaten already. It makes no sense. He wants me to be in his plans, but he's not in my plans. That's what he had to say. And, you can look at this a couple ways. You could say, well, Dillian Whyte beat Joseph Parker, and it was a good fight. Now, mind you, that I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of rematches or senseless rematches. I felt Dillian Whyte and Chisora was a fight that wasn't really even necessary. Sure, I'm not British, but I felt that Dillian Whyte should have went after someone that he hasn't fought. You see what I'm saying? Like, I like the idea of Oscar Rivas because he's an undefeated fighter. And then this guy, is a fresh test. Okay? So it's one of those things where you want people to be tested efficiently. You don't want, hey, redos after redos. That's why I didn't care to see a Luis. No one wanted to see a Wilder Ortiz fight. Okay? Now, I wouldn't be mad about this fight though. About Parker, and Whyte fighting again, simply because of how the fight ended. Whyte was damn near gone, right? He was out of gas. Parker got up with a vengeance, and he's never been down before, I don't believe. I think that was the first time he ever been to the canvas. And look how he bounced back. That reminds me of so many different fights. That reminds me of Ivan Robinson versus Arturo Gatti. Ivan Robinson was Mighty Ivan, they call him. He was beating Arturo Gatti round after round, but Arturo Gatti came back with that magnificent shot, and because he had the equalizer, he had the power in that fight between the two fighters, and he hurt Ivan Robinson, and they did that twice. They ran that back. Nobody was really mad about that. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. You see what I'm saying? That type of fight was the same type of fight. I think Parker and Whyte was a little closer. I think Dillian Whyte edged it, but really from how much, based on what we saw in that fight, we saw a guy go down for the first time in his career, get back up, and repay the favor. That was a fight. It was a very intriguing fight. It was an interesting fight. And I'm like, okay, if you can have that type of fight with Chisora, you can have that same type of fight with Joseph Parker. Both of you guys are with Matchroom now. Okay? You guys are fighting on the zone, or definitely on Matchroom with the same promoter. And I can see that fight easily being made. Just like Ruiz and Wilder. If Ruiz gets past Joshua, the fight can easily be made. It's on the same side of the street. But, Dillian Whyte, doesn't want to go back down that avenue. I can see his reasoning from not wanting to, because he's been done an injustice. Everybody knows that. They've shit all over Dillian Whyte. You know what I mean? They act like he likes to be shitted on. That's why I guess they're doing it. Some kind of weird thing they're doing with him, right? But he's looking for his opportunity to fight the top guys, and I just think that Parker is not that much under Dillian Whyte. In fact, I believe that Parker now has really a twisted interest in this whole scenario, right? Because he was the only guy that beat the current unified heavyweight champion right now. You know what I'm saying? So people in boxing, we have short memories. Okay, we don't really. We're worried about and more concerned with what have people done lately. And Parker, he's won a couple fights. He's only lost 2. He's still there somewhere. We just don't know where he's at. Now, the thing is, Dillian Whyte and Parker has already fought. Okay, now that fight is done. Dillian Whyte won, but he won and it cost him a price. Okay, it wasn't a cakewalk for him. So again, I wouldn't be mad at the end of the day because these guys decided to run that back. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that can keep Dillian Whyte busy. But if Dillian Whyte wins against Rivas, I can understand why he wouldn't want to. Just like Dominic Breazeale was once willing to fight Dillian Whyte, right, in an eliminator until Tyson Fury dropped out, right? Then he also became once again the mandatory. So that was the WBC's opportunity to actually do it right and put Dillian Whyte in there with Deontay Wilder instead of Dominic Breazeale. And what could Dominic Breazeale do? He was just pretty much promised by the WBC, and therefore he was, right? Because he fought some fight for some reason with, with Molina, you know what I mean? And became magically the mandatory. But anyhow, I wouldn't be mad over that fight at all. But I do understand Dillian Whyte's position because he is a step above Parker to a certain degree. He's beat Parker. He's beat everyone except Joshua, right? And it's time for Dillian Whyte to show what he has, to show his skills. So guys like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, I think it's arrogant of them to look at him like, ugh, you're beneath us. You're not worthy. That type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, Andy Ruiz would have been in the same situation, if not lower, because he lost one fight with Joseph Parker. That's how it is in boxing. It takes you a long time to get back where you once was, especially at the top. Look at Dillian Whyte. He's the number 1 mandatory. Well, he's the number 1 ranked WBC champion, internal champion fighter, right? And look how hard it is for him to get where he needs to be. He can't even step up to the throne to challenge the king, right? So I kind of get it. I get it on both sides, because who's to say Joseph Parker doesn't deserve an amends? You know what I'm saying? Especially after everything's said and done now, and we know that styles make fights. How will a rematch go? Will it start at 13, right, and end in 24? Because that fight was getting real interesting right before the 12th round, right? So you can't just look at that like, oh, well, Dillian Whyte's right. He should want his man. He should fight for and get his elimination opportunity, which he should. But then the more shit he talks about to the WBC, I think they will find a way to discredit him and to eventually, because they've already warned him. Remember that, guys? They've warned him. But we'll see, I understand there's levels to this boxing game, and I understand Dillian Whyte wants his shot, but I wouldn't be mad if that fight was once again replayed. Why not? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Dillian Whyte not wanting to fight Joseph Parker. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.